Right, so here we go. What's up, Connections? Thank you for tuning in again to another episode of the Connections podcast. I'm Landon Medina, and I am joined by Jim and Pam Kotch today of Kotch Electric. So why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves? So ladies first, we'll start with you, Pam.
My name is Pam Kotch, obviously, and I am part owner of Kotch Electric, which we started 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
2018. Yeah. What date?
May 8th.
May 8th.
May 8th, 2018. Hi, I'm Jim.
And so Jim was telling us a little before the show started about how this started. So, and I said, hold up one sec, Jim. They need to hear about this. So.
Yes.
So this business started out because someone pissed me off at the state. I was a senior electrician for the state working at the military department. And you have guys that have been in these positions for 30 years. You have a guy that's in charge of the skilled trades for the state of Wyoming. And what he said is he wanted me to do plumbing stuff, and I said no. And they're like, well, we don't have a licensed plumber and we need this stuff done. I'm like, don't care. You know, you guys are used to telling people to do stupid crap.
Right.
And I'm not doing that. I'm not a plumber.
Now that's because of the liability that could cause
right,
towards
exactly.
you.
Yeah, he doesn't have a license to be, he's
To
not
be
a licensed
plumber.
plumber.
You're a master electrician. You're not a master plumber.
Right.
Okay.
So they called me in the office that afternoon. This was on a Monday. They called me in the office that afternoon. So now it's him and my foreman. Oh, we need to have a talk to you. So, okay, well, we think you have a bad attitude because you don't want to help out. And I said, no, I'll help out. What are you talking about? Well, we want you to do this plumbing job, help doing plumbing. You said no. Well, yeah, I'm not a plumber, And the conversation rolled into how they need stuff done and we shouldn't have to ask questions and just do it. And then they brought in the factor of once a month, in the summertime, we'd go to Chrome Electric and go to the barbecue. Well, I'd call my wife. And they said, well, that's kind of a guy thing, and we don't want you bringing your wife there.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, that's a bunch of shit.
And this is 2018 now.
Yeah, 2018,
Yeah.
right? And
my wife could drink all y'all under the table. Like, y'all didn't even know.
they'd have vendors come down, you look at new toys, what's in electrical field and stuff, but it's open to the public. And they said, well, that's a guy thing. We don't want you to do that. And I said, that's
Too
not
bad.
your choice.
Too bad.
It's open to the public.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I would highly recommend to make your life easier here, you don't do that. I went, oh, really? And I reached over and I shut the door. And I went, now, since we're talking guy to guy and not boss to employee, you ever insult me and my wife again, I will beat your ass. And his eyes got this big.
Yeah.
I'm like, because you crossed the line. If you want to fire me, we'll just go down the hall to HR and you could fire me and you tell them why.
Yep.
And we had a little heated discussion and I said, I'm going back to work. I said, no, I'm not dealing with your bullshit. And I left. And I went back to work. And at the end of the day, I went home and I was hot. I was pacing in the house. I was pissed.
Well,
well, it's you and her versus the world.
Yeah,
right?
there was also a little bit more. So he was at the time doing some side jobs, right? And that was the other part of it. They told him he couldn't do that. He couldn't do anything on his own time because he worked for the state.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my personal time. I can do whatever I want on my personal time. And then when he come home and was upset, I said, just go all in.
Yeah, she said, what
Just
do you
go
want to
all
do?
in.
I said, I had to turn down a job where I was going to make $500 in one day so I could go to work and deal with these people for $200 and this attitude. And she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to open my own business. She said, open your own business. I said, okay. I said, but, we're going to pretty much drain the bank account to do everything. She's like,
Okay.
we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Good
So-
job.
All in. It's all or nothing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrote up a resignation.
If you fail, Jim. No, I'm just kidding. If you fail, you get up and you get off your ass and you'll do it again.
Right.
Like,
I mean, and I
And
had a stable job,
She
right?
had a
I was
stable
still
job,
working.
and me being an electrician, I had a little fallback.
Oh,
I could
and-
go get a job somewhere.
That's
right?
what's given me the blessing to try something like this.
Right. So I saw
Oh, yeah.
I fired up a resignation letter, walked in the next day. He was on the phone. I was like, click, you were done with that conversation. Here's your keys, here's your ID, here's my resignation letter. I'm done. Well, can we talk about it? No, we already did. You crossed the line, I'm out. And that was a Tuesday. That was May 8th, Tuesday.
So stuff goes down on Monday. You come in with your stuff on Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Wednesday, I had a couple jobs lined up. Wednesday, I went to work. I called these people, said, hey, instead of doing your job tonight at 4, I can come do it in the morning. I said, okay, And I started looking into, okay, what do we need to be legit? Well, you have to register with the state of Wyoming and the Secretary of State and register with electrical safety. And I started, okay, what's
just started.
And everything is a license and everything is a money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For this license and that license, and locals, and each city has their own local license.
Oh, yeah.
And got to form an LLC, and it was just money out.
Yep. But that's how you start.
That's how you start.
That's how you start.
Then I started with small jobs and working by myself, and people would see that I do a good job and I don't rip people off. And,
Right.
We haven't slowed down ever.
Yeah, we haven't slowed down.
Ever. From day one, we haven't slowed down.
And I went from me.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So you started, day one was Wednesday.
Yes.
No shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for
Left
you
the state
guys.
on Tuesday, started the business on Wednesday.
Good
And
for
have
you.
not-
Moral of the story, do not say that Jim can't bring his wife somewhere.
Yes.
That's the moral. Hey, if you want to come to poker, here you go.
That was next. I didn't bring that up.
I know. This is how they bully it into our poker game.
My center, I'm short, my center of gravity is low, and I'm just mean.
Well,
Don't believe him. He's not always mean.
No,
I don't buy
I'm
that,
only
Jim.
mean
You've
when-
been a good dude every time I've saw you.
Yeah. Well, you've never threatened my wife.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But there's a point, like, it's good for people to hear, like, there was a breaking point that I was at. I was at my job. It wasn't my favorite job. I kind of wanted to work
There's
for
always
myself.
a breaking point.
And then there is always a breaking point. But the breaking point, 90% of the time, is not followed by the work required to make that change.
Yes. And
Right?
Yes.
That's a daily. Like you said, like, we haven't slowed down. That doesn't mean just the money hasn't slowed down. That means, like, since that Wednesday, like, shit hasn't slowed down.
Well, there's
Yes.
my
Yes.
average day.
Yeah.
My average day, I leave around 7:30 in the morning, and I walk in the door at 6:00 at night.
Or
And that's-
later.
Or later, and
Or
that's
later.
average. And I have done jobs that ran into Saturdays. I've gone to work on Sundays.
Yep.
And done stuff.
Well, it's how bad do you want it?
It's how bad you want. Having your own business
That's right.
is a different kind of stress, but it is your stress. And you have to figure out how to dictate it and juggle it.
And balance it, yeah.
And balance it. Because there's no fallback of, I'll just take a vacation day.
Right.
Okay? You can't do that. You have to plan out a vacation day.
But
Right.
on the flip side, though, you're not punching a clock for somebody else.
Right.
Right.
But I believe that, too, you have to be this certain kind of special to want to do that.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is punching a clock for somebody else is easier.
It's easy.
It is
Like,
easier.
90% of businesses don't make it past the first 2 years. And then after that, there's a lot of people that work their ass off for $60,000 a year, which is really good. But they've been in business for 30 years, and that's what they've climbed up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then these people in the oil fields making more than that. There's a lot of professions that are making more than that you don't have to take that stress home.
Right.
So, like, the wanting to go out there and, you got to put a lot on the line, too, because there's a lot of people that are out there trying to, maybe not actively trying to stop you, but when all the doubt starts piling up from other people and stuff, that shit wears you down.
It's scary.
Yeah, it
It's
is
scary.
scary.
I mean, that was a big leap. It was
It's a huge leap.
scary for him, but I mean, scary for both of us.
Oh, man.
It took me it took me, a year? I kept saying, I'm going into our business full time. I want to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then you get to that.
You get to the breaking
That
point.
breaking,
to the breaking
that
point.
breaking point.
Yep.
And that breaking point came for me on a Friday, and on a Monday, I put in my notice.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
And I don't look back.
You know,
And you've put in the work since.
Oh, yeah.
And it is
yeah.
and it is work. And you know, there's times I'm sitting at the table at 10 o'clock at night doing bids. You know,
Oh,
making
yes.
sure stuff's emailed out.
Oh, yeah.
But and you have to understand that you're not going to get every job you give an estimate, and there's other competition, and there's other competition that will try to undercut you
Yep.
to steal a job.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you can't prevent that. You
No.
can't, and you can only do what you can do, and you can only do one job at a time, and you have to be honest with people.
Yes. You give give your best price, always.
No.
Always. I mean, this
Oh.
is what we do it for. We're honest.
Yep.
And we're not trying to
You know,
highball anybody or rip anybody off, right? I mean, it's
I've
fair.
You know,
We're
a-
fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Simple
But-
factor is you like I've had people call me after thunderstorms in the summertime,
Right.
and they're like, you know, I got 4 outlets in my house that don't work, and they worked last week. You know, I'm like, you have a GFI, it's popped. What is that? I'm like, the little outlets that have the button on them. You know, can you come look? If I come out there and do this, it's $200. Look around your house, find this little thing. Oh, here it is. It's red. Push it. Click. Oh, now it's green. Your outlets work.
Thank you. Have
Yeah.
a good day.
That's it.
Yes.
Awesome. We need more of that because, you know, and you're right. And on the consumer side, people that are watching that have never been in that business, on the other side of the table, it is different. You have to charge that $200 an hour or not an hour, but the $200 for coming out there,
Yes.
because first and foremost, you have to build a profitable business.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility, not to just you guys, but you have a responsibility to your customers and to your employees to build a profitable business.
Yeah.
So that means you can't have too many products out there that are taking a loss, right?
Right.
Right? And you going out to do that is a product that you're taking a loss
That's
on.
a slow bleed. That's
It-
what you call that.
it
And
is.
that's, yep.
A lot of people don't know this, and you know, you look at a doctor and you go, "Oh, they're a doctor," right? And people go, "Oh, he's an electrician," right? To be a master electrician is equal with being a doctor.
Yep.
Okay, you have to do 4 to 5 years of an apprenticeship, testing the whole time, documentation the whole time. Then you have to take the journeyman test. Journeyman test is 100 questions, 4 hours. It takes you 4 hours to take the test, right? Then you have to have documented in the field 3 years as a journeyman minimum before they let you take the test. You have to submit all the documentation to the state, and the state goes, "Yep, you're allowed to take this test."
Oh, yeah.
The master's test is 5 hours and 100 questions. It takes you 5 hours.
It takes you 5.
Yeah.
And I'm a little disagreeing with you. It's a little different to be an electrician than a doctor. But I don't think electricians were made to be doctors, and I don't think doctors were made to be an electrician.
I think-
we both fix stuff. It's just different mechanisms.
Yeah,
But
look, the time that goes into this is no
Huge.
joke.
Yeah,
It's
it-
no joke.
yeah,
The
it's
training that goes into this is no joke.
yes.
Someone, there's a lot of good old boys out there that can wire a garage and not kill themselves. However, to be a master electrician, to be someone that knows what is up when they're working with electricity takes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, though, what he was trying to say, though, is when you make an appointment with your doctor and he says, okay, this time is $200,
Yep.
you don't question it.
Nope.
He's a doctor.
Yep. I hate it when people try and bring their own materials to the job site. Well, I got a couple GFCIs.
Yeah.
You want to just put these in? You imagine going to your dentist with a filling? Hey, doc, I got my own. I don't need to pay your marked up
just
cost
use
for
this.
yours.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
use mine.
Just use this.
I found this tooth. Put this one in.
Hey,
Be
I made-
way cheaper.
Yeah.
I watched YouTube. I made my own vaccines. We'll just use these.
Yeah.
Right here, Doc,
yeah.
I drew my own blood, so
Yeah.
test that.
But people do that with businesses,
Yes,
they
they do.
they
They do.
expect you to to give them a price that is super low.
Yeah, and then go lower. Is that can you take off any more?
Any way you can do that. I'm like, what do you mean here? Like, do you want? Okay, so you're the one that needs the job bid here. Do we need to? Are we taking this off of our table, or are you paying for your job?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and on her aspect, because she does all the books and stuff, it's money in, money out.
it has.
So when people go, well, if I pay you in cash, can I have a better price?
No,
We're already giving you the best price.
it's money in, money out. It has to be your responsibility as the founders and owners of this business is to your customers and to your employees.
Right.
Like, if you're taking cash in for a cheaper job, one of those employees might be getting the step.
Yeah, it's coming from somewhere.
It's coming from somewhere.
Right? I mean, that money is coming from somewhere.
And at the end of the day, like, it's not going to come off it's not going to be food off your table. You know, where's that coming from?
Right.
Like,
Plus,
but people need to understand that.
yeah, and if you do stuff that's crooked and you get caught, it not only affects you, it affects the employees.
Yes.
It affects the reputation.
Anybody that's involved, like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? If you guys are out doing sketchy work and someone sees you on my podcast, you know what I mean? Oh, like, well, Landon's just coming in promoting businesses, you know, willy-nilly. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Ooh, I don't want to do deal.
It's like a ripple, right?
It's a ripple. It's a ripple.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Your bad news will travel 10 times faster than the good news.
Oh, yeah.
So you start doing sketchy stuff and you start ripping people off, that gets around really fast. Okay. And if you start doing a good job, but if you do a good job, that gets around also.
Yep.
And if you can get more people talking on the good you did opposed to any bad, you know, and that's why I try not to have any bad at all.
But you'll have it. You'll have the
You're-
people that don't get along with you.
Statistically
Right?
speaking,
Yes.
you will always have that.
And so separating those, like, from the times when it's actually your fault,
Right.
it is big. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and-
There has to be. You've been in business 3 years. You've had an incredible amount of mistakes along the way. Right? But y'all have learned from them.
Oh, yeah.
And implemented new strategies to not make those mistakes.
Right. And any mistakes you do make, you own up to. Okay?
Yep.
Always.
If you're doing something and they say, hey, this doesn't, you know, my freezer doesn't work and you guys just worked on that circuit, right?
Yep.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You want to go home. Guess what? You turn around, you go back and figure it out.
Yep, which he's
When-
done.
When you walk in the door at 8 o'clock at night and you're like, hey, I figured it out. This is what it was. And, you know, and you finally get home at 8 a.m., that person goes, you know what? They stand by their product. They came back and fixed it.
Yep.
And you know what? Expand on that a little bit. So I'm going to toot your horn for you. He put in a generator, and in the process of doing that, unplugged a freezer.
Okay.
Driving home.
Which what happened?
He's like, oh, did we plug that freezer back in? I can't remember.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he turned around and drove all the way back out just to make sure, because he didn't want her to lose what was in the freezer.
There
right?
you go.
So
Because
he
I
drove
called and I
all the
couldn't
way
get
back.
service. They live out in the Table Mountain area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know where that is. That's 15
Yep.
miles outside of town.
Well, that's good that you had the integrity to do that. Like, that's something that, you know, speaking on behalf of small businesses, like, we may be a little bit more expensive than a national chain or something, but that's stuff that you ain't going to get from them. Like, that's the owner going,
Mm-hmm.
oh, no.
Oh, no, I
Like,
need to go check on this,
"Dang-
right? Yeah.
Dang it, Jim, you big dummy. Like, you left the damn freezer unplugged
Right, you
again.
know,
I got to go back. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and talking about generators, you know, we had this big snowstorm this year, okay? And Horse Creek Road, there was people out of power 30 hours. You know, out at Table Mountain, they were out of power 36, 40 hours. You know, people east of town were out of power 24, 36 hours. You know, some people were out 48 hours. All these people were out of business, you know.
In the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter,
Right, I
when
mean,
it's
cold.
12 degrees outside, you know. I talked to a bunch of people that have now signed up to get generators, backup generators, and I'd ask them, you know, well, when you were out of power, how long did it take for your house to get cold? They're like, it was a day. It was a day. It was 42 degrees in my house. One more day, pipes been freezing. If a generator, a whole house system generator is not a small project. All right?
Oh no!
But the broken pipes that you get in your house, and the water damage in your house, and all the food you lost in your refrigerator, all
Just
the
the
food you
food
lost in
alone.
the freezers.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These ranchers out there that their 3 deep freezes and fridge go out. Holy smokes! We're
It's
looking
huge.
at some money, some time, some hassle.
Yeah.
There's a lot to that,
And
the ability to avoid those situations.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure 28 hours in, no power, 42 degrees in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Before they kick back on, I'm sure you're pretty scared.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
no one can get out of downtown, let alone get out to Horse Creek to save you.
Right.
Right. And the people.
Right. And you can't get into town.
Right,
No.
you can't get into
No,
town.
no.
And the people.
The doctors can't even get to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
We put in 4 generators this year before the snowstorm hit, and every one of those people said that was the best thing we ever did.
Oh, yeah.
Because the power went out, the generator kicked on, our power was on,
Right back
and that
on.
thing ran for 36 hours straight and never stalled and never died. Our life went on as normal. We couldn't leave. We were snowed in.
And the 36 hours was because the power came back on?
Yeah. So finally, the power came back on.
That generator runs off of gas, right?
Natural gas or propane.
So that's gonna run for days, right? Unless they haven't refilled their
Yeah,
propane.
unless you're low on propane. Right.
But if you live out there, that's your own damn fault.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Sorry, but-
if you want a statistic on a 1,000-gallon tank, on full load, the generator will run for 13 days straight, 24 hours a day at full load, and that's 100 amps into your house before you have to worry about
That's
propane.
full load.
Full
so
load.
so people don't realize your house is not running
No.
nowhere near full load capacity.
The average house when people are there and you're doing laundry and you're running a microwave and someone's watching TV and you got lights on is running 40 to 50 amps.
And that is when your family's there.
Yes.
It's dinner time.
Using
the game's
stuff. Yeah.
on.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's 40 to 50 amps.
so you're really looking at, and at the nighttime you're using 5% to just keep stuff on standby. You're looking at months
Right.
worth of backup power.
Right. But if you're a hunter and you have 2 freezers in the garage full of elk, antelope,
Oh, yeah.
deer, and then all your food you have in your house and the regular food in that freezer, there's
There's a couple
There's
grand right
thousands
there.
of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands
Couple
of
grand.
dollars.
Yep. Right.
Easy. Easy.
Yep.
But they told me it was the peace of mind that my neighbor, I could look across the valley and I know my neighbor's lights are out. They don't have power. I know it's 4 degrees outside. It's cold. Our furnace worked. The newer generation furnaces, they have electric ignition. You have no
Yep.
power, the furnace doesn't work. All right? The wood burn, people are like, well, I have a pellet stove. Your pellet stove has a blower and an auger. They
Right.
both take electric. They
Yep.
don't work. The only thing that works is a fireplace or a wood burner.
Right.
That's it. And that heats that room.
People don't realize
Yeah,
how,
even the
how
well,
dependent they are. Oh
Right?
yeah.
So you can have your wood burner in your fireplace, but you're not going to have water.
No.
'cause
Yeah.
you
Your
need
well don't work.
People don't realize how like just with electricity, if an EMP or something like that hit and your electrical grid was down, complete and total chaos.
Oh yeah.
Complete and total chaos. And
Well,
Oh, yeah.
The ice storm we had last year broke the electric lines going out Horse Creek to Spring Creek Ranches. They were out of power 4 days. 4 days.
right.
Okay.
Imagine you fell on day one and broke your hip.
Yeah.
Right. Right? And you're outside of town.
Right. Imagine the worst part is you are a married couple and your husband works in the oil fields. He's on his 2-week rotation and it's you and a newborn
Yeah.
snowed in and the power went out. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you can't get into
You
town.
can't get into town.
Yeah. What do you do?
Now what do you do?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hell of a service.
Oh,
it's a hell of a service.
The peace of mind factor and people juggle it about and they're like, oh, I don't know. But then when you're out of power for 2 days, my phone explodes.
Oh, yeah.
After that snowstorm hit, everybody called me. And I make it a point to go out and look at each location. Here's where we're going to put the gen. Here's how we're going to hook it up. Here's where the transfer switch goes. Here, And when the power goes out and the transfer switch takes over and everything switches over, it's less than 3 minutes that whole process happens. The generator starts, everything switches over. So basically, you're sitting in your house watching TV, the power goes out, and you go, crap. And you wait and you hear the gen start, and everything goes click, and the lights come back on. You go, huh. And you go back to watching TV.
Right.
You don't even have to get up.
Right.
You don't have to drag a generator in and plug it in and go put gas in it and make sure it's running and set an alarm for 2 a.m. so you go outside at 5 degrees below zero and check the gas and make sure the gen's running still. You don't have to do none of that.
Right.
Your furnace works, your well works, you take a shower, you make dinner, you go to bed. You don't care.
Yeah.
Now, if I didn't live in a rental, you might have just sold me a generator. But I ain't getting it from my apartment, I'll tell you that.
But, we have people that are building houses. You can put a generator in as part of the build.
I love that. So tell me about, you guys have financing, correct,
we do.
for the generator?
Mm-hmm.
So that's...
For any project, actually.
Ooh, really?
For any
Yes,
project.
any project.
Yes,
We
good
work-
for you guys.
We work with a company called Hearth,
Yeah.
Hearth,
No worries.
and they will finance a project, a construction project, whatever, and they will finance part of it. They will finance all of it. They do a credit check, but they will finance the whole thing up to $100,000.
Nice.
And you'll get multiple offers, and most of them are on 5 years, some are on 7, some are on 10 years, depending on what you want. And they send the money, if you go on approval, they send the money to you, so you pay the contractor. The contractor doesn't get paid, so now you're trying to argue with the guy that already got his money. Well, I want this done and I want that done. He's already paid, and he's like, I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
That's not how it is. You say, okay, here's your deposit, we're going to get this done, and that's not done right, you're not getting paid until this is fixed.
And we've come across customers where that has happened, where the person that was doing the job or the contractor that was on the job never came back or didn't do it right.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah. Slimy.
Or did a job, and this has happened, they did a job and then left and found out it wasn't done right, and they're like, hey, you want to come back? Well, okay, I can come back and fix it, but it's going to be this much to fix it. They're the one that did the job in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's insane.
Yeah.
If for everybody that watches the podcast and hires a contractor, Wyoming states that we have to have our licenses readily available. That's a state law. So any contractor, you go, let me see your contractor's license. Should be able to go, sure, here.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's in my truck, I'll go get it.
Right.
If they have a problem showing you a license, that's a red flag. If they have a problem getting an inspection, that's a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be doing business with that.
No.
You don't. Like,
you're opening your door to so much headache.
It's the cash, man. They see that and they go, man, like for a little bit cheaper, I can, cut this corner, and this corner.
And then you can end up paying even more than what that job would have cost you when you decided to save some pennies.
Yeah. Imagine someone comes in, doesn't pull permits, and messes up your wiring and burns your house down.
Yes.
What's insurance going to say when you go, well, I paid this one guy that I met at Mini Mart $100 to wire that up.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, you did what?
Yeah. Where's the permit? Who?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can guarantee.
What's their license?
You can guarantee they're asking where's the permit, what's their license,
Yep.
what's the date they came out,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
everything.
I tell people all the time, don't do your own wiring in your house, because you figure, I can change a switch, I can change an outlet, right? They sell them at Lowe's, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
You can burn your house down because you forgot to put one screw tight on an outlet.
Oh,
Literally
yeah.
an outlet. One screw you didn't tighten, which arcs, which causes a fire inside your wall. and you're sitting there like, by the time you smell the smoke, it's too late. The inside of your wall's engulfed.
Right.
It could be one screw. You know, I have all kinds of pictures on the website. If you go to our website, kotchelectric.com, you can see the pictures. You can see the generators we did, some of the panels. And I also have don't do this.
Yeah.
Pieces of wire that are this long and they're just black charred.
Oh, yeah. That's, I tell people, like, all the time, like, electricity is scary.
You can't see it.
You can't smell it. Can't hear it.
And you can't see it.
And by the time you feel it,
You're too late.
I mean, if you do see it, that means it's arcing. So it's
that's not good.
too late.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I tell people all the time, you can only be wrong with electricity once.
Yep.
You only screwed up one time.
That's I was probably my third week of my apprenticeship, and he was a master electrician, and he'd been working out at the refinery for years, and they were like, we had a company where we had 50 electricians. It was a pretty big electrical shop, and like this guy was hailed as one of our best,
Right.
and after lunch one day, we're testing out, these big transformers. Out at the refinery. And we're doing high-pot testing on the wires going from transformer to transformer. So we charge them up with voltage and see how the insulation holds, right? So in the thing, the ground didn't get hooked back up to the machine. So the ground wire, it looked like it was coming back to the machine, but it was just off, and it was touching the transformer door. So everything that was just bleeding through those wires was also superheating this transformer as well.
Right.
And he got close to that transformer door, and it was close. He didn't even touch it. And it arced across there, and it looked like someone hit him with a baseball bat. I mean, he went back, went down, almost fell down the tank dike. We had to take this dude to the hospital.
Wow.
Like, and this is my second weekend. I remember going home to my now wife, and I remember crying in the kitchen like, I'm a young kid. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm dumb. And they say that this guy's really smart, and I just watched him almost die. Like, how am I going to survive this shit?
And the electricity kills from the inside. It literally starts to boil the inside, and the tissue. You burns on the inside. So when you take someone into the doctor and say, hey, they were electrocuted, they'll have a little brown spot or black spot, and you're like, but the internal damage is just horrendous.
Oh, yeah. You know? Or it throws your heart into a different wave.
Rhythm,
and then your body knows how to decrease that and back it down, but doesn't know how to stop.
Right.
So it'll supercharge your heart, and your body will start kicking it back down, but your body doesn't have that cutoff limit to stop it, so it'll just shut your heart down. Yeah. And that's a lot of people that, get hit, and they'll go in, especially back in the day before the EKGs come out. You get hit, and then you come home, and the wife calls the next day and was like, hey, he just died in his chair.
Yeah. Yeah, and putting in outlets and stuff in your house. Your house is 240 volts. Everyone thinks, well, it's the voltage. Well, I need a 220 plug. It's the amperage. A tenth of an amp across your heart can kill you. All right? It's that small.
Oh, yeah.
So when you say, well, I need a 220 plug put in, well, what is it? Is it 20 amps? Is it 15 amps? Is it 40 amps? That you get the blank look.
Yeah. It's just, I think everybody has this false confidence that they know everything.
Right.
Right. Like,
it's only 110.
It's only this. I'm just
it's
like,
only 110. It's not big. Yeah.
Look,
electricity? No.
Anything like that. Like, if I go around pressure, I don't like pressure either. Like, I'm like, how many pounds are in this valve?
Oh, yeah,
Holy
right?
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's 40 pounds of pressure hitting you in the chest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's this big.
Right.
It's going to go right through your chest.
Right.
Like, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that stuff. That's why I tell people, don't mess with your electricity. Call somebody. Pay the bill.
Yeah.
Because if you screw up and you burn your house down, all right, The insurance company is going to go, you're not an electrician, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
It's on you.
Yeah.
And you got to do it to sell it, too. Everything's got to be passed by an inspector. Everything's got to be up to code.
Yeah. And they change the code every 3 years. Sometimes I think they change the code because they're bored. Sometimes,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's for safety reasons.
It's absolutely for safety reasons. Like, if you get complacent in this trade, even if you could get complacent from lunch till quitting time, and you might not go home.
Right.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That fast.
That fast. And you can do everything else right the rest of your 10 years. But one afternoon, you let your mind wander, and you're not in the right spot. You stick your hand in the wrong place.
And you miss it.
And you're done.
Yeah. And when an electrician says, hey, I'm shutting your power down, okay, you have to think it's not an inconvenience to you. It's a safety to them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't get to watch TV for an hour. You'll get over it.
That dude goes home to his family.
That's
right.
And that's it.
Because electricity, you only wrong one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it kills quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was a healthy fear. They did a great job at making a fear in me about electricity.
You should be afraid. Right?
Well, on the number's sake, an arc flash is 30,000 degrees. Okay?
Yeah.
The little sparks you see in the video is molten copper.
Right.
That is going to be embedded in your face, or your hands, or your body. It is liquid lava, 3rd-degree burns into your body.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were saying, but they said, like, when an arc flash happens, it's like the same temperature. It's hotter than the sun.
Yes, it is. It's hotter than the sun.
Right when that flash is, right where that flash starts, it's hotter than the sun.
Yes.
Like, there was a dude here in town, actually, and he got hit by a blast. And I guess still down at the refinery, there's a brick wall with just his outline on it.
Oh yeah.
And the dude survived. I mean, it messed him up, but like,
wow,
it's scary stuff.
A 100 amp disconnect for a motor. When they arc flash, they will take the steel door, bend the door, and rip the door hinges off. It's that much pressure coming out.
Oh yeah.
So if you have it open and you're standing there, it will move you 8 feet.
Oh yeah.
Easily. All right.
This is a little mini bomb.
Yeah, and you're talking something that's 2 feet by 18 inches. You know, Matt, those big panels you see, you don't want they.
Nah.
That's why they say danger, do not touch.
Oh yeah.
You leave those for the experts.
Yeah.
For sure. There was some crazy stuff working at it. I worked out at the Chesapeake oil field and at the Sinclair refinery. And it was crazy stuff. Like, I worked out at this gas plant too, where the wire was 5 pounds per foot.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Per foot, and we had
thousands.
It seemed like miles of cable tray, but it might not have been miles, but it was holy smokes. Like, to the fact, like, we pulled wire before where it took 2 like backhoes, 2 forklifts, 8 guys, 2 trucks, couple pulleys, just to get a wire, and a full day.
So
to
have
get
you ever
one
heard
wire.
the wires hum?
Oh yeah. You walk by a substation, little juice bugs. That's what we call them.
Very intimidating, right? Very intimidating.
And you talk about sketchy stuff. Some of the worst, some of the best people out there, but also the worst ones are the ranchers, because they need stuff to work, and they get it to work and get it to work and get it to work, to literally stuff burst into flames.
Band-aid.
And they're not scared of anything.
No.
They scare me.
Band-aid,
so
Band-aid,
bad.
Band-aid.
They break their arm and throw a Band-aid on it.
They're like,
you're like, oh man.
Can you fix that? No, I can't fix that. It was on fire.
I won't even touch that.
I fixed wiring at a ranch that they had a section that was taped off in a barn, and they're like, we don't go over there. Why don't you go over there? Because they're like, well, while you're here, can you look at some of the electric? Because we don't go over there. We had a cow die. What do you mean you had a cow? Well, yeah, I walked over there and it was wet and it tipped over and the breaker blew. So
We don't go over there.
We reset the breaker and the cow would twitch. So we turned the breaker off and moved the cow. So we don't go over there. They had a 50 amp live wire going through the bottom of the ground. They got exposed over years of
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't go over there. And with the
We just don't go over there.
yeah in the barn, with the wet and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, killed the cow. Dead. We don't go over there. We end up fixing it, but yeah, that's the stuff you run
I
into.
still wouldn't even go over there.
Right?
There's no way.
Not happening.
Yeah, we don't go over there. Whoa.
Yeah. People don't realize it. Like, so electricity is like a loop, right? So
It is.
we pull that shit from the ground, and the only thing it's looking to do is get back to the ground, and
Right.
it does not care how it goes.
No.
No, it takes the easiest path. If you
Yep.
are
But it
happen-
takes all paths
if
too.
you are the easiest part, it goes right through you.
The majority of it takes the easiest path.
Right.
It still takes all paths.
Yeah.
It don't care.
It does not care, and it doesn't care. It doesn't care that you have to go to your kid's football game.
Not at all.
It doesn't care that it's your anniversary. It doesn't care it's your wife's birthday. It
Yep.
doesn't care.
Yep.
Period. It wants to power something. That's it.
I bet you I've spent quite a few hours of my life talking about how scary this shit is. For sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like, to sum that up right there, guys. What we're trying to say is, call somebody. Like, call somebody.
Yeah, call us.
Yes.
Call
us.
them. Don't call somebody. Call Kotch Electric. Have them come out here. Have them look at it. Because it's a simple thing, we all need to stick to our lanes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call you if I need a plumber.
Right.
Right.
You stay in the lane.
Yes.
And I'm honest to the fact of also, I will tell you if I don't know. If I'm on
Yep.
a job and you're like, hey, can we do plumbing or can we frame this? I don't know. I'm not a
Right.
framer.
Right.
Here's a guy. I know
Yeah.
a guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I know people, but I stay in my lane because I don't want to give you bad advice on something I'm not sure of.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That I respect that. That makes it a lot easier to refer people that just stay in their lane.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't ever want it coming back. Well, hey, you referred Kotch Electric to us about this, and they really didn't know what they were doing about this, and they gave it the old college try, and it
Right.
did not turn out well.
And with
Yeah.
Don't want that.
with people
No.
getting laid off and with the pandemic, we ran into the handyman plague.
Oh yeah.
My best friend's cousin said he could wire this up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The
And now we're
handyman
calling
plague.
you because
Because he can't.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's, I wish people would get it. Like,
Yeah, because I turn the lights on in my garage and my TV blinks. So
right.
Well, think about that though. You're not going to have somebody's best friend cousin come and diagnose you, right?
No.
Because you're having heart problems or
My
you're
buddy
having-
removed his dog's tooth one time, so he's
Yeah,
got this.
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
Just give me some
what?
pliers. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, just get us some whiskey
Yeah,
and
you
some
wouldn't
pliers.
do that,
We'll be good.
right?
No.
You wouldn't do that. So I mean, it's just as critically important that
I
you
think-
don't trust somebody that doesn't know what they're doing with electricity.
I think people need to be educated about the trades. About the trades. Look, guys, there's a reason that these are specialized. There's a reason why you call these people to do this,
Right.
because you can mess stuff up.
Yeah,
Period.
including yourself.
Period.
Yeah.
And yes.
That's another thing is the younger generation. You want a career, you get into the trades. Okay, you don't want you want a job. If you want to go have someone sit at the desk and tell you what to do every day, you go work at Walmart, go work at McDonald's. Go fill boxes at distribution centers.
Which is not bad.
Yeah.
He's not saying
But
that's
it
bad.
is-
You find happiness, find a lane, and
It
you
is
stick
it
to
is
it.
a job. A career is something you can build on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And look, I would say, even in my, it is a career, and what a good, even if you don't turn it into a career, like, hopefully I don't go back to being an electrician. Like that.
Right.
That's my goal.
Right.
Like, and it's not because I don't like it. It's just that would mean that I'd have to fail at this. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is I got an education. I got a skill.
Right.
That I can take anywhere. Like right now, if I need a job making, even if if I don't go down and sign the books or anything, I bet I could ask you for a job being a journeyman electrician right now. Even if you had just your skilled labor, you didn't need a journeyman. And I'm like, hey, I'll be a journeyman for you right now. You'd be like, all right.
Right.
And the fallback plan that I have of that is just incredible.
huge.
It's
That's huge.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if my wife would have supported me if I didn't have something like that to fall back on. Not that she wouldn't have supported me, but to fully jump in like this. You know what I mean?
And if you want to follow your dreams, that's okay. Follow your dreams. Have a backup plan.
Oh, and
Always.
what a backup plan. Like, you can, like, look, these kids can go through the apprenticeship, take them 4 years.
Right.
They'll make money at it. They ain't going to get into debt. They leave, and I think they got to take 2 classes, a PE, no, 3 classes, an English, a PE, and Wyoming history or Wyoming government. And they can pull in associates out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it took you 4 years to get that associate's, but you're in no debt. You have a journeyman's license, an associate's degree, a skill that you can fall back on for 50 at least.
And if
at
you wanted
least
to,
50 a year.
you could go on for a bachelor or something else. You always have fallback. You always
Imagine if you had a fallback of $50,000 no matter what.
Right.
Like, holy shit. If you had a fallback that puts you in the top 70% of people in the world, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You figure you have a skill. You have a skill. You could go anywhere in the country and get a job. Anywhere.
Yeah, you could
Right.
probably go anywhere in another country and get a job.
You could literally go to Los Angeles, go to a local union, and go, "Hey, I'm a journeyman electrician. Do you guys have any? Can I join the union? I want to get on the books." It's a conversation. It's literally that easy.
Oh, yeah.
Once you get to the journeyman status.
And it's hard, guys. It is, my apprenticeship, I would never, ever, ever change it. I dug so many holes, pounded so many ground rods. I was a first year twice. Not because I got held back, but we didn't have any first years come in when I was a second year.
Right.
So my whole first year, they're like, "Don't worry, like you won't have to do any shoveling after your first year." And then
And
the
then you
second,
did.
yeah, and then like we didn't get any no more first years. And then by that time, I was like, "Well, I'm the best ground rod pounder here, so I ain't gonna let this kid try and take my title." So I pounded ground rods at my whole apprenticeship. You know what I mean?
You know, and there's times that it's an easy job. You're in a heated basement. You're drilling holes. You're running wire. You're putting it in the panel. There's times that you're pulling through a crawl space under a house, and it's
With
18
spiders
inches.
and
with spiders
yeah.
and snakes. You know,
That wouldn't work for me.
It's June, and you're having an argument with a 30-pound raccoon. And there's one opening, and you're both trying to get to it at the same time.
Yeah. Oh man. I was in a cable tray, 30 feet in the air for 6 weeks straight, like 12-hour days in a cable tray, like just pulling wire the whole time, and it's hot. They don't give a shit.
Oh,
Like, there's a deadline.
Yeah, deadline. I understand deadline.
I was in a man lift at a rock quarry, and we got a 50 horsepower motor on a crane swinging around in 50-mile-an-hour winds, and you're trying to land on a 2-foot by 2-foot pad at the end of the conveyor.
Yep.
Yeah, so the conveyor's moving, and the motor's moving, and the man lift's moving. Oh yeah, that's fun.
No.
Yeah, and it's 15 degrees outside.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
It's never ideal conditions
Yeah.
when you're out there.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
Oh
It's
yeah.
sandblasted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's
But the type of person that you become over that, mental strength, mental toughness
Mental
is key,
toughness.
Oh, yeah.
right? And that shit breeds that. If you do it right, you can do a right way and a wrong way of anything. Someone could go to Harvard and not get shit out of their education, and the same exact, another person could go to the same exact classes and come out on
Excel.
top of the world.
Yep.
And it's once you get out of your education, and it's how do you have the attitude when you pass that on, when you teach somebody, okay? Are you going to be like, oh, I had a shitty journeyman, I had a shitty apprentice, I'm going to treat them like crap so they see what it's like? No.
You can't do that. Look, if your uncle beat the hell out of you every day when you were a kid, and you grow up and your brother has a kid, does that mean you get to beat the hell out of him every day?
Right.
No.
Right.
Like,
No.
Yeah.
that's how we always did it. Get the hell out of here. Why would you want to do something the way you always did it? Why wouldn't you want to do that shit better?
Yeah,
Better,
if you're literally in the power to make it better for somebody, make it better.
Oh, yeah.
Teach them the correct way. This is how you do it. Slow down. Don't just ramble through stuff. Slow down. Ask questions. Ask questions for them to ask you questions. You know, if you're teaching somebody something and you go, "Do you have any questions?" and they're dead quiet, there's a problem.
Yeah.
What didn't you get?
No, yeah.
I know you should have some questions
Yeah.
on this.
I always look at it, people are like, well, how come you tell them everything you know when you're training them? Like, are you ever worried that they'd take your spot?
No.
And I go, no, I want them to, because we're climbing the ladder, right?
Right.
Like we're all climbing the ladder right here. Someone's got to take my spot when I'm on to the next rung.
Right? I want
Right.
you.
Right.
Yeah, what the hell is that philosophy? You're going to camp out on that rung? Get the
Yeah.
hell out of my way. I'm on my way up.
Right. I'm going to teach you as good as I am. So you can do this job, and I'm going to do that job. So now we got 2 jobs done instead of 1.
Yep.
You know, and you don't have to. I don't have to babysit you. I don't have to micromanage you.
Yep.
You know, you got all the parts. Go do that job. You know, you're wiring this house. I'm wiring that house. He's wiring a garage. At the end of the day, guess what? The business got that much bigger because we
Right.
got 3 jobs done.
And now you became that much more valuable, and at the end of the day, I can pay you a little bit more.
Right.
Right.
At the end of the day, I can't eat my benefits. I can't eat, I can't feed my family on my boss being nice. But if I bring more value to the table, my boss should be able to pay me a little bit more.
You know,
Exactly.
and I do a good job. You do a good job. He does a good job. We build a business. Guess what?
We all win.
hire our 4th guy. Now we're going to teach him so he does a good job.
Yep.
Right? So now we get that many more jobs done.
And we're all winning.
And we're all winning. And you have a good name and you have a good reputation. You know, and somebody goes, "Hey, I want to build a house." They go, "Hey, you call Kotch Electric."
Yeah.
Them guys know what they're doing.
And that's it. Not Jim knows what he's doing. Them guys.
Them guys.
That
Yes.
team.
That team.
Yes.
That team.
That
you know
team.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's really cool that you guys think about that. I think that all businesses have a responsibility to their team. Like
Right.
you're providing them jobs, and you need to provide them jobs that they can scale at and build a life upon.
Right.
Yes.
You know,
You know what I mean?
I would love to get to the point that I have a team that's doing everything, and I can do estimates, and I can get parts, and I know I don't have to look at this. I don't have to look at this job. How you guys doing? We're
You
doing
don't have to
good.
micromanage,
We're
right?
on schedule.
Right.
We need some more wire. We need some more wire nuts. We're low on boxes. I got it. No problem. I don't have to go, "Oh, that wasn't stapled and this isn't straight." And that's
Yeah.
It's creating those systems.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
creating the culture. You
It
know
is.
what
Yeah.
I mean? What does Kotch Electric stand
It is.
for? Do
And
these get stapled or do they not?
right. And it's little things. It's
And-
little things.
It's always the
Always.
little things.
Always the
It's
little things.
always the little things.
Yes.
Everybody, look, you need to think big, and you need to have stuff in the long term. But it is little disciplines taken every single day that's the game changer in that. Whose was it? Wasn't mine.
It was mine.
mine.
Oh, way to go, Pam.
Mine-
Oh, this one's on Pam.
I thought I put it on silent. No, just vibrate. Yeah.
vibrate. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, and once you get a team that's built like that, you can dictate it out. You do this, you do that, you do this. I'll be over here.
Let's delegate it.
Yeah.
Out. Sounds way better.
You
than
have that trust,
dictate it.
though, right?
You have that trust though.
No,
Yeah.
and you do, but it's got to start with you though,
Right.
Because look, the first time that you give someone a project, they're not going to do it as good as you.
Right.
No.
Period.
Yeah.
And it is you putting that pride down and going, "Ugh. Okay, tell me what you're thinking here, and how can we do that better?"
Right. And I'm a working boss. All right. I'm in the ditch helping dig the ditches. I'm laying the pipe. I'm pulling the wire. I'm getting dirty and sweaty and grimy just like the other guys.
But he teaches at the same time.
But I teach at the same time. And on the flip side, my guys don't see me as, "Oh, he's the boss. He's just going to drive around in the truck."
Right.
He'll get in. "Hey, I need a hand. What do you need?" Put my gloves on. I go through a set of gloves about once a month. Leather gloves. I work through them.
Well, look, it's way easier to follow a leader into battle than a boss.
Yeah.
Like, look, if we're out working, if I come out to the field and we're working and you're higher rank and you take command and you lead us in the proper way that you should from being that higher rank, I don't need to spend my time on trying to lead because there's already a leader there that we can trust and we can follow.
Right. You can either tell somebody what to do or you can show somebody what to do. Right? When you show them, they learn. When you tell them, they don't hear you.
And you got to walk the walk, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and be able to step back and take a different opinion. Just because you've been doing something one way doesn't mean there's not another way to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
we
right.
were talking about with the uncle.
Yeah, and I get in a rhythm and stuff on how I like to do stuff, and if somebody says, "Well, let's do this first because then it rolls into that and it makes that easier." Huh,
Like,
I never even thought of that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
And that's it. We if you can surround yourself with a couple of people like that,
Promote success.
you'll have success.
You'll have success.
I believe that you attract success by the person you become.
You do.
You know what I mean? In order for you guys to go to that next level in Kotch Electric, you guys have to go to that next level within yourselves to open that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you guys haven't done it. You guys are doing great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I think you attract it by the person you become.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And it is a true factor that people most of the time don't quit jobs. They quit managers.
You're
they
damn
quit
right.
Bosses,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
If
that-
you're a crappy boss, you have a crappy business, you have crappy employees, you go downhill.
Yeah.
And it all rolls into each other. Okay? And so you have to look at the process. If something's not working, redoing it the same way is not going to fix it.
No, look at your process and
What
what
is the
can
process?
you change.
Yeah. Definition and insanity. Doing
Okay.
the same process over and over again, expecting different results.
Right. So, and I think a lot of people don't document their process. It's all up here, right? Well, I know everything about the process, but how the fuck are we supposed to know everything about it if
You gotta share it, yeah.
you can't see in your damn head?
Right. But that's where the apprenticeship comes in, because that's part of the documentation.
Right. And I guess I'm saying on business owners, and so any business owners that are listening now, and the reason I'm speaking of this is because I am working through this in my business right now of getting everything out of my head onto paper and getting a cookbook, basically, of how you can do my job.
Right.
So-
So if you got hit by a bus tomorrow,
Yeah. Which,
can
gosh,
fill
damn,
you-
hopefully I ain't got no foot around there.
who
but-
can fill your shoes?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because look, at this point in my business, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, we might all starve to death.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm my wife would not let us starve to death per se, but like, life would change very dramatically.
Oh, yes.
She's been a stay-at-home mom for a couple of years now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If the income goes out, like, you know what I mean? And then how am I going to recover if I haven't been able to interact with my customers? How the hell would I recover my business, my brand?
Right.
You know,
Right.
so I need that cookbook to where, they're not going to be Chef Landon,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? But they'll be able to step in and still provide.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's the simple things too. You're a family man. You want to take a vacation.
Yeah.
You want to be able to say, I'm taking this week off. You guys are still going to be working, and the job's going to get done.
Oh yeah.
Which means they're not working and not making money while you're on vacation.
Right.
Right.
Your job is still to provide them with the ability to provide money for themselves.
Right.
Right.
Because your business doesn't keep going if you don't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? You are providing yourself with the ability to make money. It's your job to provide those employees with the same thing.
Right.
Right. And in turn, you can take a vacation and business goes, and in turn, they can take a vacation and the business still goes.
Absolutely. And thank you. Like it's super nice being on this side of things, because I've been on the other side of things where I'm just like, why y'all, like, man, y'all taking this many vacations and I'm working my ass off here?
Yeah.
Like, but to hear it from the other side, like, well, you know, like, work your ass off, you'll get one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe in vacation. I believe in vacation both ways.
Oh, you have to have downtime.
You have to have downtime. You know, we don't work a lot of weekends for that reason.
I mean, it's what do you want? Are you after money or are you after the good life?
Right.
I'm after both.
There you go.
And
it's tailored to everybody. Everybody's got something.
I'm after
different.
both, and I want to provide both.
There you go.
You know, I want to provide a working wage for somebody to have a nice house, have a car, take vacation,
Support their family.
You're absolutely right.
You know, and
that's honorable.
Oh yeah,
Very honorable.
And it's hard to do, but satisfying, because there's a whole different kind of stress when you have your own business.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then when you have employees, it's a new level. And then when you have more employees, it's another level. You know, and you also have to judge the people. You know, is this person going to get along with this person? You know, and if they're not, why?
Right.
And how do you handle it?
Yeah.
I think too for businesses that are listening here too, I think a good thing, job descriptions, right?
Oh, that's huge.
I think that a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, where they go wrong is they tailor a job description to a person, right? Like, create the damn job description,
Other way around.
and it's the other way around, right? So they hire their friend that can do A, B, and X, but they need A, B, and C,
right?
And they're like, well,
first of all,
I
don't
guess
hire friends,
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is because they go, well, they can't really do C, so we don't really need C. We'll let them do A, B, and X, and then like. No, like, you really need A, B, and C.
Right, and the problem is you get distension because if they do A and B and they're not doing C, and you have this guy is always doing A and C and D.
Oh yeah.
Right.
but so and so is your friend.
Right.
So now your other employee is like, well, why am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're telling me all I got to do is go have a beer with you after work, and
Yeah.
and my life gets a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you know, so that's why you separate that and you don't hire friends. I have friends that have the knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not hiring you because one of these days I'm going to have to be your boss and go,
That's right.
You're screwing up, and I'm going to hammer you.
Right.
And nobody likes to be yelled
No.
at. Nobody likes to have that
No,
conversation. You know, and if you're the boss, eventually you will have to have that conversation somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line.
My team and I, we got into it for the first time. Not we got into it, but yesterday, I just got frustrated at my team for the first time with this new team. We were in here and we were doing some web design consultation, right? So we were talking to this company about their website, and we were not on the same page. Not at all. The starting gun triggered, and we fell right on our face. And so I pulled him out of this room.
I gotta go.
Okay, well, hey, we
School
can wrap this up too. Pulled him out of this room and was like, hey, like, I wouldn't pay us a dime to give me any advice on the website right now. Like, we do not look good as a unit. Like, we need to get on the same page. And we recovered well. And it was so cool that we recovered well because I was nervous about that. Nervous. But, all right, so we will wrap it up here, guys. We've actually been talking for a little while. This is one of our longer ones. But thank you guys for joining us. Once again, this is Jim and Pam Kotch from Kotch Electric. And we'll have their link in the description below here. We hope to be working with these guys soon. So we've had really good things from the community as far as feedback goes on this company. So tune in, and we hope to see them grow a little bit more. So thank you guys for joining us.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Thanks for having
Bye.
us, Landon.